The Champions League, Celtic Park, bloody brilliant. Yes folks, welcome back to the channel. Something very different for you today. It's a first on the channel. It's taken me ages tonight to put it together, so I hope you enjoy it. I simulated the Champions League group stage draw. So I'm going to run through how I did it in a couple of minutes. First things first though, bad news. Bad news is 50% of you who watched the video yesterday about 5 players that could leave this summer weren't subscribed. So all you have to do to subscribe is just log in to YouTube, click the red subscribe button below. That's it, done. It keeps you up to date with the content, and it really helps the channel as well. So if you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed already, click subscribe below. Right, so it's the Champions League. We're back in it. The first time in 5 years by the time it rolls around. It's the biggest competition in the world. I think it's going to change a lot come 2024 with the restructuring. Automatic group stage qualification as well. It's the first time that's happened in many years for Celtic. It totally changes pre-season for us, but I'm just absolutely buzzing to get back to Champions League nights at Celtic Park. They're really, really special. And as I say, it's been 5 years since we've had any. Couple of caveats. Obviously, I'm going to show you the pots for the simulation in a minute. The pots are still provisional. I'm so excited about the Champions League. I've made this video well ahead of time. I should probably have waited at least a couple of weeks because this year's Champions League final hasn't even happened yet. That's Saturday, obviously, between Liverpool and Real Madrid. That will have an impact on exactly what the pots look like. So let's take a look at the pots then. You can see them on your screen now. As I say, the final on Saturday will have an impact. If Liverpool win it, they will be in pot 1. That's what these pots are based on. If Liverpool lose it and Real Madrid win it, Ajax will move into pot 1. Liverpool will drop to pot 2. By the way, you'd be absolutely beeling if you pull Liverpool out of pot 2. But having said that, there's some brilliant teams in pot 2 anyway, so there's a high chance you'll get somebody really, really top class. But there you go, that's the pots. The teams in red are clubs who haven't qualified yet. Obviously, there's 5 or 6 spaces to come through the qualifiers. What's shown here, the teams in red are the teams with the highest coefficient. It's almost like assuming the teams with the highest coefficient will get through, which of course doesn't always happen. Those 6 teams in red will look different. There's no way they'll all make it. You'd think it very unlikely that they all make it. There will be some changes, but that's the pots that this draw is based on. So without getting to Gianni Infantino, I managed to get a simulation to work with country protection, so teams from the same country couldn't play each other. That's how it works. UEFA has a string of other factors that determine who plays in what group and on what night they play and what kickoff time they play, because there's so many permutations across Europe. If you take Celtic and Rangers, for example, if Rangers qualify, we couldn't play at home in the same night. There's lots of different things like that across Europe, and that impacts once the draw gets underway and the teams start coming out. Certain teams can't go into certain groups, and there's so many different outcomes. Not here though. All that I've secured, all that I've guaranteed as country protection and the pots is good enough for a simulation. So let's take a look at how the groups ended up. We'll start with the first 4 groups, A to D. Couple of interesting groups in here. Celtic didn't come out until later. As you can see, again, these teams who haven't qualified, I say the teams actually who have an asterisk next to their name, either haven't qualified and or have been liquidated. So Real Madrid were in Group A. Group B, AC Milan, Chelsea, Shakhtar and Rangers if they were to make it. That's some group that. I don't know who would get blamed for the crowd trouble in that group with Chelsea and Rangers in the same section. Group C, Europa League winners Frankfurt, Ajax, Napoli and Dynamo Zagreb, again provisionally. And Group D had PSG, Tottenham, Salzburg and Copenhagen. But they 4 groups mean nothing to you. You're only here to see who Celtic ended up getting in the simulation. And no prizes for guessing that even in a simulation, Celtic can't escape drawing Barcelona in the Champions League group stages. I mean, it's unbelievable, and you think. I mean, I almost nearly did just do the simulation again because we got Barcelona. We've had Barcelona so many times over the years. And to be fair, if the simulation didn't take so long, I probably would have done it again. But there you go. We were in with Porto, Barcelona and Bayer Leverkusen, all teams that we've played relatively recently. Obviously, Leverkusen in the Europa League last year. Barcelona numerous times over the years in both the UEFA Cup and the Champions League. And Porto, who we played in the Champions League back in 2001, 2002. I'm sure it was in the group with Juventus. I think we won 1-0 at Celtic Park. Henrik Larsson scored the winner, and obviously we faced them in the UEFA Cup final in Seville in 2003. So I'm sure some of you watching who have followed Celtic all over Europe over the years probably been to Barcelona, given the number of times we've faced them. Some of you might have been in Leverkusen just last year. And as I say, if you've been going to European away games for the best part of 20 years or more, you might even have been in Porto all those years ago when Martin O'Neill was the manager. So there you go. You can see the rest of the groups there as well. Not that you'll be too interested in them, but that's the group that Celtic came out in the simulation. I can't believe it had Barcelona in it. So often leading up to these draws, people pick out the easiest group and then the most glamorous group, or a mix of both. To try and give Celtic a chance of getting through it. And listen, I don't mean to be defeatist. I'm buzzing to watch an Ange Postecoglou team tackle the Champions League head on and go at it and play in the way that this Celtic team plays. But we know it's difficult, and particularly after 5 years out of the competition, it's going to be a massive step up for us. There's no doubt about that. The gap in wealth between Celtic and Europe's biggest clubs gets bigger and bigger every season. So it is going to be a massive leap for us. Whether we can go and compete, do we get a group where we can challenge for third place and try and drop down into the Europa League? You could argue that in that group that I've drawn out in the simulation, we could maybe do that because we've faced Leverkusen. They did beat us twice, but we ran them close in the away game where they won 3-2. Porto last season, brilliant domestic run. I think they were unbeaten in something like 50 games. They won the league at Benfica. And Barcelona under Xavi, a bit revitalised, but still really inconsistent. Listen, I'm talking about this as if we're actually going to play them, but it's just a bit of fun. Don't take it too seriously. I think if I was to pick a group, I don't have a graphic for this, but if I was to pick a group, hand pick a group for glamour and a chance of qualifying or a chance of dropping into Europa League, a mix of both. I really want to go to the San Siro, and I've heard mixed reviews about the San Siro. And again, yous that have been on multiple away trips over the years will have been to the San Siro because Celtic have played AC Milan on a number of occasions, particularly 15, 20 years ago. But I want to go to the San Siro before it gets demolished. I think it gets demolished in 2024. And it just so happened when we did face AC Milan in the Europa League the season before last, that dreadful COVID season where there was no fans in the stadium, the game in the San Siro against AC Milan landed on my birthday, but obviously I couldn't go. So I'm hoping the footballing gods come up with something so that I can go and see Celtic in the San Siro before it gets knocked down, whether that be AC Milan, who had just won the Scudetto on Sunday there, or Inter Milan, which is obviously a hugely significant fixture in Celtic's history. We're actually the day before the anniversary in Lisbon. So I want to go to the San Siro in some capacity, regardless of who it's against. I want to go and see it before it gets knocked down. I would love to face Real Madrid. I think I speak for a lot of fans there when I say I want to see Celtic face Real Madrid. It's never happened for a generation, really. I think 1980 was the last time we faced Real Madrid competitively. I do remember us playing them in a friendly, maybe 15 years ago, but 10 to 15 years ago, maybe. I can't really remember. I think Jose Mourinho was the manager. What's that? 10, 11 years ago. But I would love to see Real Madrid come to Celtic Park in the Champions League. Could be as winners, could be as 14 times winners if they beat Liverpool on Saturday. I think the atmosphere would be amazing. Having said that, I wouldn't mind getting Atletico Madrid either. I know we played them in the Europa League in 2010, 2011. But I think the history with them in the competition, given the tie in 1974, I think the atmosphere would be absolutely electrifying if we were to face Atletico Madrid. And listen, that's a great stadium to go to that they've just built. I think the clash in styles there would be intriguing. Not that Atletico Madrid would totally park the bus playing Celtic because they would be the favourites. But definitely a contrast in styles between Ange Postecoglou and Diego Simeone. I would love that tie, but there's so many teams in there. You look at pot 3, and do you want a team that we can go and try and challenge and try and finish third place? But some of the teams in pot 3, I mean, Napoli, Dortmund, Leverkusen, as we've touched on, Benfica in there, Sevilla as well, who have won so many Europa Leagues. Top teams, but that's the Champions League for you. Really, really difficult to compete. But what an exciting prospect. That's why everybody's buzzing about it. That's why I've made this video prematurely. It's why I've made it about 6 weeks before I should have made it, because I'm just buzzing about the Champions League, and we will have more Champions League content coming to you before the draw on the 25th of August. And on the 25th of August, we will have a watch-along live stream of the draw. We'll try and get different guests on, and we'll firm the details of that up as we approach the Champions League draw. But I'm absolutely buzzing for it. And that's a different style of content, a different bit of content that we haven't done before on the channel. So I'm absolutely buzzing for that. Having said that it's 5 years, this will be the first time we've made the Champions League group stages since I started the channel. I think the first year we get put out by Athens, and then here we are 5 years later. Have never made it since, so I'm absolutely buzzing. I can't wait. I think to complete that group that I would handpick a Madrid team, a Milan team, maybe an English team. I don't know. It'd be good to take a big following down the road and play one of the teams to the Premier League. Although they're all top quality as well, as we know. Dortmund, what a trip it would be to go to Dortmund. So many exciting prospects in there. But there you go. The simulated group was Porto, Barcelona and Leverkusen. Let me know what you think. Who do you want in the Champions League draw on the 25th of August? And where do you stand on the glamour ties versus trying to get the easiest group to get through? Listen, Celtic would never get the easiest group. There's no chance we're going to come out with the easiest possible group for this draw. We'll probably end up in the group of death, but that will mean plenty of good away days for the travelling support. There you go. Like this video, comment your own thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Cheers.